Como 10-7 in the second quarter. Bolton's up on Beauchene 30-13 in the second quarter. And that's some of the local schools.
See if Peterman's able to continue things. Every kickoff he has made has went into the end zone. Puts a fin into this one, and the second half is underway. And it looks like he rested that leg a little bit, Coach, as that one goes about 9 yards deep.
He had to refresh it again, I guess, at the halftime.
51-0. We'll see Trojans come out defensively. I expect a drive apiece. You'll see these guys work, and then you'll start seeing some of the younger guys, I do believe, come in. I believe the offense will get a set as well.
Yeah, it looks like most of the defensive starters are still in the game out there. I'm sure they need as many reps as they can get, but you'll see probably one or two substitutes here and there. Not a whole team at one time, I wouldn't think. But
Finister is in at quarterback. He came in about midway through the first for Boxley. He's got Williams about a yard behind him. Snap is back to Snap is back, and he's got the handoff to Williams. Williams trying to get to the outside. He's going down the sideline to the 40, and it's going to be a first down.
Made a little adjustment there. That's a nice blocking that time by the Trojans on the cornerback came up, and they kicked him out rather than the defensive end. They blocked down on the end, and they was able to get around the corner for a nice pickup of about almost 20 yards and first down.
First down for Ferriday, just underway, third quarter of play. And remember, it's 51-0 in this one, but it's first team on first team. Trojans, this is what Coach Severio, Coach Bachman, and those groups want to see, is how you respond coming out of the half.
And I always heard the first 3 minutes of the game and the first 3 minutes of the second half is one of the most important times in the game to set the tone for the game.
Finister in the shotgun. Ball is snapped and onto the ground. Ferriday will hang on to it. They'll give him a loss of 3 back to the 40-yard line. And so that's kind of what happened, is that they take a step forward and then a couple steps back. And
consistency is not there just yet, but it's coming, I'm sure, for the
10.5 to go, just a minute and a half into the third quarter. Ferriday in no hurry to get to the line of scrimmage and let this might be one of those where they employ the running clock in this one to get out of this one. It is second down and 13. Faraday's got it at their own 40-yard line. Finister back in the shotgun, stands 4 yards deep. Calls for the ball and spins around. It's going to be an inside handoff. Running back coming out of the wide receiver spot, slips out. He's at the 45-50 now. 45 cuts back into the 40-yard line and steps out of bounds there at the ASH Trojan 40-yard line. So a little bit of misdirection, and that's what Faraday's been running a lot of. That was their most success, and you can believe that those coaches from the ASH defensive side of it are not happy with what's going on.
No, they get in the corner, which they weren't doing in the first half, and there's some pretty shoddy tackling there a couple of times, a lot of arm grabbing and going on. And of course, you got to give credit to the running back. He's a slippery little dude. He cutting back, jumping around, hop skipping, and picked up a nice gain.
9.5 to go here as we are just underway in the third quarter of play. Deepest drive for Ferriday right now. Previously, they had gotten to the 49 of Ashton and a penalty back to them up. This time now, they go first and 10 from the 40-yard line. Finister calls for the ball, looking to hand it off, and wow, Jamari Monette is back there, and he tackles the quarterback and the running back at the same time. Both of them had the ball. Neither one of them wanted it, but Monette says, you know what, I'll get in there and handle things.
Yeah, they had a little stunt going that time, and Ferriday didn't do a good job of picking it up, and he was in the backfield just about as soon as the back got the ball.
See what the Trojans are able to do here as they forced a loss. Remember, we said that the last time Ferriday, the only time Ferriday was on the ASH Trojan side of the ball, they were there for about a play.
Well, and you know Coach Severio, he wants to pitch a shutout.
Indeed he does. 8:25 to go here in the third quarter of play. And looks like timeout is going to be taken by Ferriday. We'll keep it right here, Coach. And, I'm not saying that they've come out with not a lot of fire, but this ASH Trojan defense or the Ferriday offense, what do you think's the cause of that?
I think it's a combination of both. I think maybe when you have 51 points at the halftime, you have a tendency to just kind of say, well, we got it, and maybe not have quite the effort that they had during the first half. And then on the other hand, Ferriday made some adjustments on the blocking scheme, I'm sure, and a couple of big plays there, they were able to pick up sizable yardage. So it's a combination of both things, I think.
And again,
but I'm sure Coach Severio just put something in the ear after that last couple of plays.
A lot of adjustments are going on out there. 8:15 to go following that timeout. Second down and 14. Faraday's got it from the 44-yard line of the Trojans.
Y'all want to turn that air conditioning back on?
Snap. Finister is back there. He's got it. Another inside handoff. This one's going the other way. Again, the running back gets to the outside, cuts back inside, is going to have the first down to the Trojan 38-yard line. And that inside handoff to Jaquarius Davis has been the big highlight for, he missed it just a bit. I saw the wrong.
You're looking at the wrong down marker?
I was looking at the wrong down marker. That's right. It's the first time that Ronnie gets to get mad at me tonight for that one. But he was watching. He had the last 3 minutes of it by himself in the first half, so he's able to keep things going. Another veteran up there in the booth. Glad to have him as always. 3rd down and 8 from the 38-yard line. Have to get down to the 30, does Ferriday. 7.5 to go here in what's been a rapidly moving third quarter compared to the first half. 51-0. The Trojans of Alexandria Senior High School have the lead. Finister's back, looking at that inside handoff again. This time the Trojans have adjusted to it. That was Dylan Boxley who started the game at quarterback that took that from the inside. And now it's going to make it 4th down. And if they give him, and Boxley looks shaken up, started the game at quarterback, swapped out, went to Finister back there and put Boxley out at wide out, was a recipient of that, and now he's shaken up and will come back off. Loses a yard, and it's 4th down and 9. And, Coach, you have punting's just not an option for you here. It's not been effective for you at all.
They're going to go for it, and the punting hadn't been very good anyway, so you might as well go for it here.
And have yet to throw a pass.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. Surely they got some guy out there that can catch the ball, especially off all that wing action they do, and he should be able to dump it to somebody tight end.
Keep an eye on 17 to the near side. That is Davis. He's been their most effective weapon on this drive. Finister calls for the ball. He's going to take the quarterback keeper, and he's tracked down in the backfield. That's going to be a turnover on downs. Jeremiah Jeffers Wright in there with another big stop. That's his, I think, the 3rd big stop in the backfield that we've seen.
Yeah. Only bad thing I can say about this situation, playing Ferriday, is the fact that next week you're going to be playing a team that will light up the airways and, a combination of both. But they can throw the ball, and you're not getting a chance to see what your secondary can do here against a non-throwing team. So they'll have to do some work getting ready for, like I say, the LSU signee quarterback. They're going to chunk it all over the place.
Bordelon brings Hammond in motion, gives the ball to Newton. First time we've seen him since that early in the second quarter. They went the distance with Gorham after an explosive first quarter. And we've reached the 6-minute timeout. We're going to take it with them. We'll be right back on LA 103.5. Looking at a 2nd down and 7 following that carry by Newton. Handoff once again goes to Newton. He's looking to get to the near side. Cuts back in the middle now, the 50. Newton to the outside, 45-40. And Newton is going to be off to the races. He's to the 20, to the 10. They won't catch him. That is Jarvis Newton. That is a 57-yard touchdown run. Jarvis Newton to the house. My goodness, we talked about it since he returned that kickoff for a touchdown 3 years ago, Coach, that he is one of the most explosive players in the state. You get him in a seam, and he's gone to the house.
Yeah, he looked like he got a little limp in his get-along there. I don't know if he pulled a muscle or what, but he's kind of gimping over here to the sideline. Of course, he may have just be tired. Long run. Just got an updated score here. Madison Prep and St. Thomas More tied 21-21 in the 3rd quarter.
That was a game that was 14-0, I believe. At one point, St. Thomas More, that kick is up and it is good. We're going to keep it right here. And recap that just a little bit. Ash now 58-0 in this one, Coach. And I got to believe, along with you, that's going to do it for the starters as we reach the midway point of the 3rd quarter. But we've got to look down the roster and see who comes in as that backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's we got. You said Mingo can run quarterback, and we got what's the other one?
Backup quarterback that you'll probably see in this one is number 13, Bradley Wilson, if he makes that appearance, listed as a number 2 quarterback. Not what you're used to seeing at quarterback in the size, but just a young man, but can throw the football like anybody that's been through here quarterbacking at Ash.
Another updated score. Sulphur is up on Pineville in the 3rd quarter, 21-6.
Sulphur taking care of business. Pineville and that Rebel group under Bryant Bell looking to get Jackson and that offense underway. Rich Dupree and Nathan Martin on the call of that one. That's on K-Buck 105.5. We've got the Menard call of St. Fred's and Menard on Sunny 106.9.
Also, Tioga is up on Como 17-14.
That's a good one
quarter.
down there in that Lafayette area. Scott Mills and Billy French taking you the distance there.
Another local team, Bolton 30-13 in the 2nd quarter on Beauchene. That's hadn't been updated.
Very good to see Mark Teague and that bunch getting out and getting things going against Beauchene. You'll be able to catch all the scores and highlights tonight on our post-game show. That will get going either at 10 o'clock or when the Ash game is over, whichever one is later. Peterman puts a foot into this one, and it's going to be short of the end zone out to the 3, and we'll see what this kick cover team can do.
First opportunity to make a play.
And the ball's out at the 20.
Brings the ball out to the 20. Ferriday will start.
We'll take it.
1st and 10.
So, yeah, that's I guess the kick team got around Peterman. They said, hey, let us tackle
kick
somebody.
this a little
is
short
only
this
right.
time.
Let's
Get
out there
workout.
and do that. You used to say, what a weapon Abel Peterman's going to be this year kicking the ball.
Got a lot of subs here on defense. I know the cornerbacks and safeties and all look new numbers out there.
27 is out there. That is Jason Blackwell. He was one of the starters. You still have some younger guys at safety mixed in with some of the older guys. We'll try to get some numbers along the way. And
Coach Fignede on somebody that wasn't out there.
yeah, when you're not out on the field,
get your chance to play and you don't show up. You had to call a timeout, Coach
trying to get
Ferriero.
some of the guys out there. I see number 45 back out. Oh, that's correction. That's Daniel Crenshaw that is made out here as a freshman defensive back. So we'll try to get a list of some of the names.
Football team,
Number 24 was one that
That's one of the starters too. That's Kirk. He's one of the starters.
he didn't get replaced apparently.
Thank you for your continued support in fueling the team.
5:09 to go, 3rd quarter of play here. It is the ASH Trojans all over Ferriday. It got out of hand in that 1st quarter, and now it sits at 58-0. 58-0, 8 touchdowns, and the field goal, the one missed extra point, but a 35-yard field goal added by Peterman atoned for that miss. Ferriday has really struggled, had their deepest drive just on the play prior to this, or on the drive prior to this, and had to go for it on 4th down and missed that, and the Trojans went back and scored with Jarvis Newton. Finister calls for the ball. High snap. Timing messed up on that one, and here comes that Trojan defense. Big stop by one of the newer players in there. That's number 9, Dwight Minor. He's a junior defensive lineman. Good to see Minor in there. He's got some good size, too.
Yeah, I was just looking at his number. It just came in the game. We got trying to catch some of these numbers. Jalen Kirk, number 24, linebacker, sophomore.
Also seeing there number 50, Demarion Pryor. Looks like we'll have to see if that's the right number that's in there.
See who the cornerback is out on this side over here. Looks like
That's number 90 actually that's in there, and he's not on the roster. 2nd down and 8 following the 2-yard pickup, and looks to be a false start against Ferriday. That's going to back them behind the chains once again.
got number 27 at cornerback, Jason Blackwell.
Yep, he got the start out
did he?
there. Yeah, Blackwell and Kirk are in their first starts, Coach, in that defensive backfield. So
they
getting a lot of
need to
reps
work,
and
yeah.
getting some time out there.
Safety number 45. It's Crenshaw, yeah.
3rd down, or check correction, 2nd down following the penalty, and going to keep it to the near side.
Got a host of them on the play there. Number 80 looks like.
That was Finister that decided to keep it himself, and not one play really, Coach, tonight has worked short of the wide receiver handoff to number 17 for Ferriday, and he's been the only one, that is Jaquarius Davis, that's been able to get any kind of positive. But Faraday's just not been able to string anything together against this ASH defense that really been coming after him.
And the clock's running 58-0 with 3 minutes to go, and then a timeout.
Anytime Coach gives you the score, that means that somebody texted him and said they didn't know
what the score was.
And he just tune in and listen.
They went to the bathroom, or
Right.
they went to the refrigerator or something.
58-0 in this one. 3:06 to go, and you're going to start. It'll be interesting to see who the Trojans trot out there at quarterback. I expect to see Gorham run the ball a little bit in this one. I believe Newton is probably going to be finished with his night.
Yeah. I tell you what, there's something that's really changed from back in the days when I was coaching. You got the big TV screens down there where they can, watch the replays on the, what they call it?
On the huddle is what
huddle,
that is.
yeah,
You've got
yeah.
huddle, you've got Sky Coach. Got a lot of different ways to get involved and to reach out to people.
Right, and they can sit there and see what they were doing where you're trying to explain it to your defense or your offense. That's a big change from back in the day.
Trojans out there on defense from ASH. The Trojans from Ferriday slow to come out of it. Coach Stanley and that group still working, and they will work until that final buzzer goes off.
Yeah, I think some of the big guys are starting to struggle a little bit out there. You weigh 300 pounds, and it's not exactly cool out there.
Well,
tonight.
that's what being quarantined for a couple of weeks, too, you worried about was the heat, the humidity, and the conditioning on there.
Right.
3rd down and 14. Finister in the backfield. Boxley back in there with him. The toss sweep out to the outside.
Uh-oh.
Cutting back inside. But the ball's going to be on the ground. Trojans look to have fallen on it, and they have. That we'll see when they unpile things who comes out of that with it. And that's one of the youngsters that has made it in. That is Crenshaw, number 45, that comes off. That is Daniel Crenshaw, freshman defensive back. And he'll remember that one for a while. Remember when I was a freshman and I recovered that fumble?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
He'll have that. The way the story will be told 20 years from now is that sealed the game.
Yeah, it's amazing how good you get it over the years.
2:43 remaining, 3rd quarter of
Here
play,
comes the
and
backups
graciously
on the offense.
the clock is starting and going. We'll see who's in there at quarterback. And that is the youngster that we told you about, Coach Bradley Wilson. Wilson in there, number 13. And a bit of a size difference between he and Joe, but he throws that ball as good as anybody. His first attempt out to Mingo.
He wasn't wasting no time getting the arm loose, huh?
No, come out and let her rip.
Yeah. Say, I got my shot. I'm fixing to chunk it.
What the good old days when you just sit there and hand the ball off and come out.
Come on,
but the
chunk it.
Trojans want to keep working on that because, Coach, I mean, that's
if Joe goes down,
that's your number 2. That's right. And he does have Gorham in the backfield with him. Mingo is to the near side, the sophomore. You certainly want to get some reps out there for him. Number 14 is in for the Trojans. That is Eric Jones.
Got 87, Cameron Washington. Having a little trouble with the coaches getting the
Bradley calling for the ball, high snap, and zips it out to the near side to Mingo. And what a good target to get it to. 20, 15, 10. Mingo sidesteps to the 5, and we'll see what the call is. They're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line. And look, I thought the youngster Bradley Wilson was going to get his first touchdown pass of his career there, Coach.
And then we got Ferriday Trojan down on the sideline down there. He's pounding the turf, so he must have gotten his ankle or something falling on. Sounds good.
Working on that. Look like they're stretching it out just a little bit, but a big catch and run by Mingo on the reception from backup quarterback Bradley Wilson. Comes over to the sideline to get a little bit of
could be just a cramp too.
Coaching there, and they're bringing the entire team back over to the sideline. Got a minute 19 to go, third quarter of play. Trojans knocking on the door once again. Coach looking to add to this 58-0 lead. The second team getting a little bit of work in there as well. You've got some of those starters that are youngsters being mixed in with this to keep getting them some reps and keep some experience out there.
Right. I was trying to get some of the lineman numbers. They don't ever get a whole lot of recognition.
Unless they're holding.
Got number 76, and I don't even have him on the roster, so unless I'm seeing the number wrong.
Minute 19 to go, third quarter of play. 58-0, and you're still working and working and working. I'm going to tell you, these youngsters for this ASH Trojan team, they've got some folks that aren't even dressed that will be big contributors throughout the years. First and goal for the Trojans from the 3-yard line.
Looks like number 75, Roland Gonzalez, was offensive lineman. I was trying to see his numbers to the 76.
Gorham in the backfield with Wilson now. First down and goal from the 3. Gorham stands in shotgun, gets it, looking back to throw once again. Zips that in there, and that is a touchdown pass to Mingo. 3-yard touchdown pass from Wilson to Amarion Mingo, and that is Mingo's first touchdown reception as a Trojan, and certainly one that Bradley Wilson will remember as well. And you're going to hear chants of why are they up throwing the ball, why they're working with their second team unit coach on a group that, quite frankly, hasn't practiced. They didn't have a scrimmage. They didn't have a jamboree. They didn't have any of that.
Yeah. I tell you what, I was impressed. He put some zip on that sucker, and Mingo
I told you when he came in that he is in stature not what you're used to. That kick is up, and it is good. 65 now to nothing. Going to keep it right here as we ran through a host of commercials there in that first. There in the first half, so we're going to keep it right here, Coach.
Are we having a player of the game?
We have the Whataburger What a Play of the Game. Yes, we will name a player of the game.
Okay.
And that's
going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. There was a lot of activity from the offensive side. There was a lot of activity from the defensive side. We'll have to get some of those updated stats. Certainly in consideration is Hannah Johnson in that group that sent the sandwiches up to us.
He came through, man.
That was good stuff. It's just great to be back at the football field once again. You know, you put the wraps on this one. We have our LA Friday Night Lights show coming up, brought to us by Southern Heritage Bank. Thursday, we will have the Thomas Bachman Show. Now, speaking of Thursday, Coach, 3 Thursday games this year for the Trojans. That Pineville game looks like it's getting moved to Thursday night. The Winona, Mississippi trip will be on Thursday, and they'll end the season on Thursday night against West Washita, which has become a little bit of history, it seems like, in there. Of course, the Pineville game is here at home. The trip to Winona is on the road. That's the only Thursday night on the road game, but that's about a 4-hour trip that you drove just as far in Mississippi as you can go and then stop and play football.
Just about. But it's back to God's country, so, you know, back to old home stomping grounds.
Oh, my goodness. All your friends coming out there.
Oh, yeah.
And mercifully, the clock's starting to run on here, so we'll try to get through this fourth quarter Peterman puts a foot into this one and drives it back to the goal line, and it's going to be a touchback as that ball just has to cross the goal line, and it's a touchback. So Peterman tonight only one that did not reach the end zone, and he is just hammering that football.
Yeah. You're gonna have to work a little harder. You messed up that one time there.
Right. Well, I think his kick coverage guy said, "Hey, let us have
we need
one."
some action, right?
Don't forget, coming up, we told you the Southern Heritage Bank LA Friday Night Lights. That will be up at 10 o'clock or when the Ash game is finished, whichever is later. Then Thursday night, we'll have the Thomas Bachman Show on our Stevens Media Group stations. Tuesday night, we have the Kevin Cook Show out at Buckets. Wednesday night, we have the Eagles Nest Coaches Show. And it is over at the Eagles Nest on their campus. And then Thursday night, we have two coaches shows. At 6 o'clock, we have Jim Deggy's Pineville Bryant Bell Show. Then, of course, Thomas Bachman Show out at Walk-Ons. That is at 7. Finister spinning around, hands the ball off to the near side, and unable to tackle, spinning around. Good job finishing things off defensively there. Pickup of about 4 yards. Continue to run the clock, and that's going to get us down to the fourth quarter. We're going to take this break with him. We'll be back in 60 seconds getting ready for the fourth quarter of play. It is 65-0, your Ash Trojans with the lead. Back in 60. There we go. We're back now. Back to live action, getting things started. Run up the middle is going to pick up the first down out to the 30-yard line. 11:25 and counting here, fourth quarter, and watch that clock to do a lot of what it's doing right now, and that is run. Coach, you go back and watch a lot of film in that first half and see what you did right. 58-0 there at the half. Have added a big, long Jarvis Newton touchdown run. Jarvis had a heck of a game. TJ with a touchdown reception and that big punt return. The leg of Abel Peterman. The defense has been solid all night.
Yeah, hadn't made a whole lot of mistakes. They made a few big runs early on in the second quarter, but for the most part, the Trojans have shut them down. And like I say, Ferriday would have a good run, and then they'd shoot themselves in the foot and get a penalty or something and get backed up. But overall, I've seen both the offense and defense has looked really good.
Finister with the pitch to the far side. Jason Blackwell coming up, making the tackle there as we move to 10.5 to go in the fourth quarter, 65-0. 2-yard pickup, second down and 8 for Ferriday. Again, in no hurry to get to the line of scrimmage whatsoever, as they are content to grind as much clock as they can. Crowd rather subdued. Didn't have a lot to, I guess, there was not a lot of drama in this one from the opening bell. And it's just been all Ash since then. But they're seeing an explosive, very solid team. And I can tell you, Bachman's going to say they got a lot to work on.
Oh, yeah. Up, they look like he may throw it. Up.
Was looking to pass, but is going to come up as finisher, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield.
Good coverage there by Cortez Simon, DP freshman in there playing a cornerback.
Loss of 5 on that play. So this again, the Trojan youngsters that are coming up, they got a lot of extended practices while Ash was quarantined. They were able to get out there and work because it was the varsity guys that were quarantined in there. And look, I'm telling you, they worked them as hard as if they were senior players that had played for 4 years there.
Well, yeah, and you never know. They might have been having to play, considering if those guys weren't able to come back. So you got to get them ready.
3rd down and 12. Finister has went the distance from midway in the first. 65-0, Trojans lead this one. Hand off to the near side, a big hole. Going to grind his way down is the Trojan runner. Get out to the 41 and pick up the first down. 8:51 to go, 65-0 Trojans.
Number 38's checking into the game for the Trojans. It's
Kirkland Bates that is in there, number 38, another one of those freshmen getting some playing time.
I wonder if that's Kirkland Bates. I coached him at Tioga. I wonder if that's his son.
Oh, I thought you were saying if that was. I was like, oh, no.
He'd be a little bit old by now.
8.5 to go in this one that has been all Alexandria Senior High School. Finister stands in the shotgun, receives it. Slow developing handoff is there, but it gives the time for his offensive line to set some things up. And 12 yards later, Ferriday has another first down. And that first-team defensive unit is up there supporting their second-team guys saying, hey, hold on, don't let anything happen.
Right. Defensive end didn't do a very good job of closing down that time, and he ran right inside of him. He got kicked out, and, of course, the linebackers didn't get there until they picked up a sizable gain that time. First down. They cut the air conditioner off again. I'm sweating.
Sure did.
Boy, I tell you what, we're gonna fight.
7:37 and counting, and you're starting to see a lot of fans make their way to the gates in here. A lot of folks. You can tell there's some youth on the team because the folks that are staying back are the parents because their kids aren't driving yet. Inside wide receiver handoff once again. Looked like could have been home, but he gets to the outside corner. He's going to get to the 36-yard line, and consecutive first downs for Ferriday as they continue to get some progress. Their best drive of the night as their starters remain in this one. And, Coach, 38 guys on the roster, you really have to do that.
Right. Well, ain't much substituting you could do. Number 40, looks like Brody Van Dyke is checking in. I coached a Van Dyke kid, too. Well, wonder if I might have to check out.
Mighty coached his grandpa.
Yeah, come on now.
6:45 to go here in this one. 65-0 Trojans. I'm going to get run out of here too. Finister.
My bad. It's the old roster.
And the toss back on the inside once again, and a lot of running room, and he's going to go to the 10-yard line before he's brought down. That's number 27, Blackwell, who comes up and makes that touchdown-saving tackle. And Coach, it's mop-up time. It's first team for Ferriday, and they're fighting for pride. They want to go out there and put one into the end zone because 65-7 sure sounds better than 65-0.
Exactly.
You want to go out here, and it doesn't matter when the points come across. But it's a battle of pride now here as it's first down and goal from the 10-yard line. The yard-to-gain sticks are dropped, and that is the officials' water timeout. We're going to take our final timeout of the game. When we come back, we'll wrap these things up. We've got 6 minutes to play. It's 65-0. Trojans lead.
Ready for some crazy.
Back to live action. Finister has his Ferriday Trojans in there, first and goal from the 10. Back in the shotgun, takes the handoff, and is given, and he's blown up in the backfield. Big play that time by the Trojans, and we'll get the number on that young man. Just an explosive play, number 98, getting in there, and that is Trace Calco, the sophomore defensive lineman. Getting a lot of names that we're seeing, Coach, that are getting there, getting some good time.
Yeah, Coach Severio might have did a little something in time. They're not going to give them a touchdown if we can help it.
Some of the guys that we see in there again, Dwight Minor along that defensive line. And again, the only way to get experience, Coach, is to get experience. 5 minutes to go in this one, 65-0 Ash with the lead after that loss. It is second and goal from the 15. And
Coach calling timeout. Yep.
Yeah, Ferriday takes the timeout. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it right here as we ran through our allotment of timeouts. Don't forget, it is the ASH Trojan wrap-up show coming up. We'll name our Whataburger What a Play of the Game. Then you'll be able to tune in tonight and listen to LA Friday Night Lights, brought to you by Southern Heritage Bank, and we'll get to talk to some of the coaches as well.
I see the Palm Line got a couple of new recruits down there. They didn't get to play on the football team, but they made the Palm Line. Apparently, the guys are
having a lot of fun out there in this one as the start of the season rolls on. Again, some big scores. We saw Manny is behind in their game. That big West Monroe game is going on. Acadiana was down in their game, I believe. So a lot of big things going on tonight, unless we got the score incorrect. Menard behind St. Fred's tonight. Pineville was getting beat down in Sulphur. That Tioga Como game, the only good one of the night on our stations. Finister looks to hand it off, hand it to about the fourth man through, and he's going to get into the end zone. That is number 17. Coach, I'm going to tell you, number 17 for Ferriday has been their guy all night. That's Jaquarius Davis, the senior running back, has just been all over the place for them. Man, what a great move that was. 65 now to 6. Certainly appreciate all of those that are hanging in there with us tonight. Again, we'll wrap this up and zip back to the studios that sit high above downtown Alexandria.
Well, you can zip on. I'm going to zip on.
You're not zipping.
I'm zipping to the house. Well, they're going for 2, no surprise.
Finister keeps his offense out there. Again, that end around goes, and that play has been successful for them. It has been their only successful play, and that 2-point conversion makes it 65-8. We'll keep it right here, Coach, and talk about, we can start looking ahead now to that big St. Thomas More game. And again, we tell you, if you're wanting to come out and see good college football or good high school football, well, potentially good college football, good high school football, you need to check that out next Friday night at 7 o'clock.
Right. I saw them, like I say, I saw them during the summer on 7-on-7, and they got the outstanding quarterback, and they got a big receiver. I would say is every bit of 6'6", maybe 6'4", 6'5", but he can go out there and get it. They got him lined up in the slots. It's tough to match up DB on him. It's somebody that big. He's tight end material, but he's actually got good enough speed to be a wide receiver. And they got several other guys. Didn't see the running backs, of course, because they don't use running backs. But, you know, it's going to be an interesting game. They were in the playoffs and they won the
back-to-back state championships in Division I, which equals the Class 5A just in the select division. And clearly the class of that select division for the last few years, and as long as you remember, St. Thomas More is always going to be in that list of great teams.
Right, and you know, and the thing about it, Coach Bachman, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best, and you know, win or lose, it'll help them down the road in their division, and hopefully they come out and play well.
You know, we see the kicker lining up what appears an apparent onside kick, but this is what he did to start the game, too. Kicks it about 25 yards off to the right-hand side, and it looks like is that Jermaine Minor is over there being aimed at, the big tight end. Great hands tonight.
Fair catch it or run it.
4:38 and counting mercifully. That clock is running. And again, on cue, he gets right over there. Picked up by Miner. He's going to fall straight on it, and that's where the Trojans will have it from the 21-yard line.
Trojans just following the ball.
That's probably a smart thing to do right there. Kind of got out of sync.
You saw Wilson come out throwing the football on his last possession. I expect just a steady diet of runs of those Trojans try to wrap this thing up and run the clock as best they can.
Get the running backs a little playing time here as well. It's obviously he can throw the ball well, and it's obviously Mingo can catch the ball. So see what the running backs can do and give these offensive linemen a chance to block. Well, we got a whole slew of you guys out there.
Very impressed by that first showing for Joe Bordelon. One thing I take out of it, he's got an arm. He throws that ball well.
Right.
Wilson once again in there. Got a new running back. We'll get the number on that young man as he does get the carry. Busting his way up the middle out to the 35. That's number 20, J.T. Lindsey. J.T. Lindsey with the carry. That's one of those freshman running backs that as I went by this week and did some talking with the coaches, they were showing me film on the young man from the freshman game that they had, I guess, a week or so ago. And now it looks like an injured Ferriday player is out there.
I'm sure they're getting pretty tired because a lot of those guys going both offensively and defensively.
And cramps is where you really start to see things take over. It's just, again, quarantined for a couple of weeks, Coach. I don't see how you can be in shape when you're having to play both ways. It just doesn't make it possible.
Yeah. Especially, like I say, you know, Ash, for the most part, nobody goes both ways. And so at third and fourth quarter, it starts to show up on you if you're having to play offense and defense, and then the other team doesn't. It just, you get a step slow, you start feeling sorry for yourself, and the next thing you know, it gets tough.
That's when you see one of those runs that you think they're just trying to run, but you got a freshman running back in there, Coach. He's not wanting to just run half speed.
Oh no,
he's going at
it. Chance to show what he can do.
Appreciate all of those folks that tuned in and watched us on Facebook. Acadiana picks up the win. They hold on to win 9-7, and they beat. Trying to see who it was that Acadiana was playing. Karen Crow tonight. Remember, Karen Crow knocked off West Monroe in the first game last year. That handoff goes up the middle. That is Lindsey once again.
Lindsey picks up a couple of yards on that play. Second down.
Well, they got them coming in droves. There ain't no way we can pick up all of them that's coming in, but shuffling them in by the...
Jimmy Duncan was in there. He comes off now. So some of these freshmen that are getting to dress, good to see them. Bradley Wilson still in there at quarterback, or is that... yeah, that's 13 that's still in there. He's got Lindsey behind him by a step to the right. Calls for the ball, and the handoff is there. Lindsey's up the middle, pushing the pile forward for about 3 or 4. And that is 19 that is in there at quarterback, and that's Matthew Crenshaw, freshman quarterback. So third quarterback of the night is Matthew Crenshaw, getting a little experience.
Hey, anytime you get out under the lights in the varsity game, it's all good, especially a youngster like that.
And, well, another quarterback that's in there. Everybody's not sure.
Everybody's
trying to see what number. Which I might get to play quarterback tonight. That is Marquise Butler. That is, yeah, good to see Butler in there. And
fourth down, looks like the Trojans are going for it here.
Just for what it's worth, Abel Peterman does the punting for the Trojans tonight, and you wouldn't have known it by watching the game, but Peterman does in fact do the punting. Minute and a half left to go, just wrapping this one up. It is 65.
Let the clock run down, I believe.
Those watching, the play clock is off, but it's been off the entirety of the game. Butler in the shotgun. Hands the ball off. Lindsey's got it to the outside. It's going to pick up a first down out to the 48-yard line. Minute 12 to go.
That pretty much seals the deal there. They can run a couple more plays and stick a fork in it.
Getting in there at running back, Jimmy Duncan. Duncan comes in. He checks in. Checking out, number 82. So you've got Butler in at quarterback. Looking things over, calls for the ball. The handoff goes to Duncan off the left side. Duncan pounding his way out for 7 yards, 44, and they should be able. And look, it's like a line change in hockey. They just keep rotating guys on and off the ice here. 33 seconds, and if they want, they can just take a knee and get out of this one. Run, you got one more time, but that is going to wrap things up. Don't go anywhere. We will have the ASH Trojan wrap-up show. We'll get in and out of here pretty quick and get you ready for Southern Heritage Bank's LA Friday Night Lights. 14-13 to go here, 65-8 in this one.
See y'all later.
Handoff up the middle, and that's going to do it here. Your final score. Still pushing, got the first down. Final score of the ASH Trojans, 65, they move to 1-0. Ferriday 8, they move to 0-1. We'll be back for the wrap-up show right after this, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're still going to name our What a Burger, What a Play of the Game.